What we do here is go back.
So you can ask yourself, what do I need? Well, it's simple. The basics, bondo and sandpaper. Different grits from 80, 120, 320, a 400 or 500 wet. Now, I wouldn't go to 600 because you want it to bond to something. With the filler primer I'm going to be using with this, I'm going to stop at 120, hit it with a filler primer, and I'll be doing all my wet sanding with the straight 500. I'm not even going to hit 320, there's no point. So, sanding, you can get various blocks. Depending on your dent, you're going to want different kinds of blocks. This one, this little bitty one right here, I'm going to use a small block. Down there, I'm not going to use a block at all because it's such a compound curve. I'm going to just do it by hand. This one right here, I actually used a long block, a flexible long block, so I could follow the curve this way and the curve that way. So, let's get started and see what all we need. Now, your first big prep is make sure stuff doesn't get in your window. So to do that, we'll use a paper material. It's a painter's paper that I buy at Lowe's, and I buy it in the big Giganto rolls because it's like 20, 30 bucks or something for that big roll, and it lasts forever. So I'm going to go ahead, tape off a section over here, and I'm going to also build a square around here of about the size I want to keep the work to here and the work down there. I'll show you both because I'm going to be fixing them both at the same time. Well, because this is such a shallow dent on a body line, I want to take off at least about this section right here of all the paint. So let's get started. Now, if you had an electric sander or an air-powered sander like a DA or something, or a grinder, you can hit this and then take it right off. Your main objective is to sand down bare metal. You can see the size around it I ended up doing to highlight that low spot. And there it is right there, the dent. And you come down here. I chose to show you this one too because you have the side skirt line right there, and I'm trying to stay off that little edge of the body so I'm not digging all the way down. But there's that dent. Two small dents, it makes a big difference. Couple of precautions before you start doing bondo. You want a respirator. You don't want to breathe in this stuff. And you're probably going to want some gloves. But the surfaces are nice and decently clean enough. And I'll show you how to mix it and spread it. So with bondo, you get the bondo and you get the hardener. It's best to mix up a little bit more than you need. I don't have any fancy tools for mixing, and I don't buy the big buckets to make it easier to mix. You can see there's like almost no separation in here. But I'll go ahead and give it some twirls. Okay. It's not going to take very much bondo at all to fix these two dents. I mean, you're talking just a little bit. But I prefer to mix up more than I need just in case. And that is way more than I'm going to need. And with the hardener, you just want to squeeze it up to right as you can see it. Put the cap back on it. You're just getting air out of it, so when you mix it, you know it's getting mixed, because this stuff separates pretty bad. Now, if you have a small tip, a fine tip dispenser, I guess hardener dispenser, you go all the way across, but this is a pretty fat tip, so I tend just to give it a little goosh like that. Actually, that's a little bit too much, but now you don't want to sit there and stir it like this or anything like that. You're going to introduce air bubbles, and then you're going to have pits all in your bondo. So you're picking it up and smearing it. And you're going to keep doing this until there's no more waves. Everything's one uniform, like yellowish color. Depending on what brand, the hardener could be dyed 30 different colors. Now when it comes to applying it, you want to make sure that your applicator, your squeegee, or whatever you want to call it, has an extremely good, smooth leading edge. By leading edge, I mean that right there. And you're just going to want to grab a little bit of bondo. This is going to be your press coat, or whatever you want to call it. You're going to press it real hard in there. And the reason you do that is it really gets it down in there and gives it a better bond. And you grab just a little bit more. I'm going to follow this edge up here first, and follow this edge down here. Piece of 80. I'm going to show you how to do this without like some expensive block. This is my expensive block. Just a piece of little square scrap wood. I know the dent's only like this big. Don't ask me why I put so much bondo. As you can see, it'll cover it just fine. Now the objective is to go like this, come up here, do different directions, and it'll form a hard edge wherever that dent is slightly. And I'll show you how to hand feather the little body roll in. But the objective is knock all this bondo down until all you have left is really where the dent is. As you get closer and closer to bringing that bondo back down to where it needs to be, start moving back down here and just slowly kind of scrunch it in this way, scrunch it in that way. You'll start seeing it as you just normally go. Normally sand, because you're using all this good area, all this good area around the dent to make sure that dent's flat, because the dent's only like right there, so it gives you a whole lot of flat plane to work with. Thought I'd give you a little bit better close-up of this. You can tell where the dent was, the impact. You can see it's nice and smooth here, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's a really rough edge. Well, that's not going to work. So the idea is to follow the natural curve, and you'll eventually break, and probably break all this down too, but you'll follow that natural curve in a crosshatch design and keep going back and forth over and over and over. And what that'll do is it'll use the good body pieces all around here to shape that little bit of inside that will stay. And there you go. It's actually all it takes. It does not take much. There you have it. It's fixed.
Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school.